Dak Prescott, as you may recall, is in the final year of a 4-year, $160 million deal. He signed that back in 21. He's going to make about 29 large this year. And the question is, what happens next year? What exactly is Jerry Jones, the owner, waiting for? Is he waiting for his GM to tell him that the market is evolving with quarterbacks? Because as we know, and we've seen over the past decades of our involvement in sports, salaries tend to go down over time. So I absolutely understand that it makes perfect sense for an owner to wait as long as possible. On the other hand, some owners have a view. How about if he proves it? Let's see how his platform year is. Let's see how he plays in the last year of a contract, and then we will take the chance to pay a market value at that time, or we'd be willing to walk away. Or if he gets hurt, then he may not need to get the type of guarantee that he would have gotten prior to the season. These are standard things that owners and GMs, even when they're the same person, go through when you're dealing with an impending free agent. The number one thing you think about, do we want this player back? Number two, if yes to number one, what allocation of our payroll / salary cap payroll can we afford? And I don't mean from an operating income standpoint. I mean within the constraints of the cap, what can we afford? When there's no cap, what percentage of the total payroll do we want this one player to be? And that's if we've decided we want the player back. Next, is there anything that could happen tomorrow that would impact how I feel today? If yes, what? Injury? Lack of performance? There are many times when you've got a player on your team and you want that player back that both injury and lack of performance do not change your view unless it's a career-ending injury. Because any sort of lack of performance gets dismissed as, oh, bad day, bad month, bad season. So it can't be that. What about the other side? If performance outweighs current speculation, MVP year, and I'm talking about personally, record-breaking year, and then team success. Do we make the playoffs? Do we win the conference for the first time in decades? Do we win the Super Bowl? If yes to that, what impact does that have on what his market would be? Do you think that Jerry Jones has not gone through this yet? Of course he has. And then when he says, if you haven't seen it by now, you haven't seen it, then follow up by telling us, are you negotiating with him? Is it your plan to keep him? There is no competitive disadvantage to Dak Prescott going into the season either having been lied to or either having been promised something or having been silent. Either way, I'm talking to my impending free agent and saying, obviously, we don't have a deal done. We have a difference of opinion to your value. Go prove me wrong is what I would say. Because I would always go to, hey, we're going to see what the market does. We're going to see what your performance is. Go make it impossible for me or another team not to make you even richer than you are. Jerry Jones, the GM, then chimed in, which always makes me smile. I wonder whether he put on his sunglasses, he stepped off, and then he stepped back in. Hi, my name's Jerry Jones. I'm the general manager of this Dallas Cowboys team, and I'm a Hall of Fame general manager. And he said, quote, when you look at the situation, you've also got to weigh, okay, what are the consequences of the other side of the coin? So Dak's situation right now for me, from my mirror, has more to do with our situation than it does with the merits of Dak Prescott being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. What kind of mumbo-jumbo word salad crap is that? I have no idea what he's talking about. And the best part is, neither does Dak. So do you know what Dak did in response? And get ready. Dak said, I stopped honestly listening to things that he says to the media a long time ago. That's the business and the nature of this game that we play. I stopped honestly listening to the things he says to the media a long time ago. Doesn't really hold word of the day alert. Wait with me. I've never had a player say that. I've had players tweet that they're angry with me or angry with the situation. I've had players tell me directly they're unhappy with things that are going on with the organization. They're unhappy with their own contractual situation. I don't recall that I've had a player impugn my statements publicly in that way. I just don't think I've had it. Now, why would Dak have done that? What's the upside? Oh, I've got it. Because if he does that about the GM, he can do what other players do and go over the head of the GM and the president and go right to the owner and try to get a contract done with the owner. And he can say, I was talking about the GM. Now, if the owner says, hey, I'm not doing your contract, you got to go to the GM, then the player goes to the GM and says, just so you know, I was really talking about the owner. I totally get what he was doing publicly, but I had to answer. And you know what it all means for Dak Prescott's next contract? Nothing. Zero. Jerry Jones has already decided what he's doing with Dak Prescott. The fact that he's delaying, that's his decision. Good luck, Cowboys. You got a real shot.